Module 11. We're going to stick with the early adulthood here as we move into the social and emotional development of the early adult in Chapter 14. Here we're going to start talking about the emerging adult. And if you remember an earlier video where I talked to you a little bit about attachment styles and how they're formed all the way back in toddlerhood, these things are going to show, this is where they show back up. Sometimes the end of adolescence, but really more so into the early adulthood. Because by this point, we start to have a more solid grasp of who we are and what we want in our life, what we will accept, what we won't accept. We start to become goal-driven. We start to develop our own identity, and it's a lot stronger and it's a lot more focused, where the adolescent's trying to figure that out for the most part. So here we're going to be challenged with intimacy versus isolation. So is that young adult going to partner or find a partner, or maybe find a series of partners, or are they going to hold back? Are they going to be able to attach in a healthy way to a partner? This is where that social development really starts to grow. But while peers and friends are extremely important, we also start to form those more intimate bonds. And so how we go into those relationships, do we feel secure in those relationships? Do we feel insecure in those relationships and desperately have to hold on to that partner for fear they're going to not be there? That's a really critical period. And oftentimes if we find that there was an insecure attachment in childhood, it may rear its head again in adolescence or in the young adulthood. So owning that, knowing that, it allows you to get through it in a healthier way. So we all want to have a secure attachment with our partner if we choose to formulate a partner. And not only partners are we looking at this stage, we're also looking at close friends. So we're going to have lots of social friends, but when you're 6 or 7 or 10, your friends are pretty much who's ever in the room and wants to do that stuff and play with you. At this stage, we're looking at trust, we're looking at interdependency, we're looking at a much deeper seated kind of relationship that's going to form in early adulthood, and hopefully for some, those relationships will last a lifetime. So this is really important stage for the young adult as they start to identify, start to really not just identify who they are, but really get their claws in it and start to formulate goals and ideas and practices that will help them to become who they want to become as they start to look at things like their career choices, and their future family choices. So this young adult may start getting married, they may start having children of their own. So how do they interact with their family that they may have stepped away from? So how do they keep those relationships going? What does that look like as they formulate their own new families and they go through those new family struggles? So there's a lot going on here. Again, a really important phase that we continue to support our young people through. So probably in this room, I have a lot of young people that are in it right now. So hopefully they can identify with some of it. We probably have some of you that are reflecting back on it. And maybe a few of you that are saying, that looks like that's what's coming up. So remember, these are not an absolute phase either. It's not like at 19 you're an adolescent and at 20 you're an adult. You don't wake up that one day. It's a transition. And so this transition may happen at different times for different people, often based on what they're doing. So if you're in college, you kind of stay in that phase for a while. You don't go into the career phase yet because you're still in college, but then you will after. Where somebody might have started that career phase earlier if they went into a vocation. So just like it was when we started walking and talking, this is a phase. This is a progress. So I hope you enjoy the chapter, and I look forward to seeing you for Module 12.